to the Wholesome Music Podcast.
Yes, welcome back.
My name is Augustus Watkins. I am an LA-based musician, songwriter. I'm in creative. I have a record label and I do music PR. And you are?
My name is Cam LJ. If you're not familiar with me, I'm the owner of Secret Spot DTLA. We're a creative collective for all musicians and creative professionals. Mm-hmm. I do the open mic contest. I do a few other things.
Yeah.
But you can find me everywhere.
I can find you in the fashion district, as I can
Yes,
see.
you can. You can find me dripped out today.
This is sequins? Are these?
I call it like fake rhinestones.
Rhinestones.
No. I'm going rhyme.
Rhymestone. You got the chain.
We doing it today.
Yeah.
It's a little different vibe, but we out here today because it's Pride Month, Pride. Baby. It's Black Music Month. You got to show out a little bit.
That's right. Happy Pride. Happy Black Music Month. As you mentioned, we are in DTLA. We are going to talk about the current troubles in Los Angeles.
Yes.
We are going to talk about that in some depth. It will reflects to the music industry in general, especially if you're the kind of person who's like thinking about coming to LA because this is still a creative hub.
We're gonna talk about what's going on for real. We're gonna touch on what we've seen, touch on what's going on.
We're gonna tell you things the media won't.
We're gonna keep you informed.
We are recording this on. I got another public safety alert. We are recording this on the the 10th of June. So by the time this gets out, the situation may have changed.
Yes.
This is a rapidly evolving situation. We actually are under curfew, so it's going to be interesting getting
back home today
because I have to take a bus to a train. So
yes, and I'm on the e-bike, so we're gonna safely navigate our way through the curfew.
It's going to be a vibe. We are going to talk about artists' mental health.
We're going to talk about Suno AI.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about Timbaland and his
chaos.
Very weird take on AI. So stick around for that.
I don't even know if I'd call it hot.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about our favorite thing, which is global banking.
Yes.
Specifically a report from Goldman Sachs about the music industry.
Absolutely.
And as always, we're going to keep it real fucking wholesome.
We are. We're going to keep it wholesome as fuck.
Real fucking wholesome. So welcome to the pod. We'll see you later. We'll see you. What do I want to say? Welcome to the pod.
We'll get right into it.
We'll see you now. We, of course, are based in Los Angeles.
Yes, we are.
More specifically, we're based in downtown Los Angeles.
DTLA.
Which, I don't know if you heard, but is a urban hellscape.
Oh, it's a war zone. That's what I heard.
I heard that they're killing the dogs and cats.
Yeah, it's the migrants.
They're
eating the dogs and cats.
And the migrants. They're eating.
Yeah, the migrants are eating each other.
Jesus. So, okay, so this is Tuesday, the 10th of June, so things are going to move fast. Yeah. I imagine by the time this gets out, some things won't be relevant. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about
everything.
Like this is a music podcast, but like it's like this obviously is touching the world, and so it would be,
and it's touching us.
Yeah. So let's talk for real about what is going on in what's your like because so we are in DTLA. We're in the fashion district, which is
we're on Los Angeles Street.
Yeah.
So we're like right in the center. We're right in the heart of what's going on. We're right in the heart of downtown. But at least for me, it doesn't feel like we're right in the middle of what's going on.
And we're not.
It doesn't feel like, and maybe this isn't PC to say, but I don't feel like it's like George Floyd was bigger.
Yeah. What people need to understand if you're thinking about LA is like, and maybe one of the reasons this is relevant is because you have plans here. You're going to see a show here. You want to move here because you want to pursue your dreams here. There is 2 buildings in which is a mile from downtown. Is huge, which is one of the things you don't understand about LA until you come here is just how physically large it is.
And even if you live here, I think it's easy to feel like downtown ends at like Main Street,
right? And
like because a lot of people they go Main Street to Figueroa,
right?
And that's downtown, and you forget there's all the way down to the fashion district. There's all the way out
the arts district,
the Chinatown. You've got this entire section across Skid Row of downtown.
Yeah.
So
and the currently this might change, but the unease for this week has been centered in basically in like a 4-block radius.
Yeah.
So don't let them twist it and tell you that LA is dangerous, that LA is scary, that LA is being overrun. I hope that everybody watching this is savvy enough to understand this, but LA is not burning.
LA is not burning. It's not a hellscape. It's not a war zone. There are an unusual number of police out.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of graffiti up right now. There's
Yeah.
a lot but like honestly, by the time like they clean that,
yep,
like
it'll be bad. 4th of July looks worse.
Right? Yeah.
4th of July.
The Dodgers parade was worse.
Yeah.
Well, in some ways.
But even every year, 4th of July, when you go out, the 5th of July in the morning, what's on the street?
Yeah, the confetti and
tons of fireworks shells, and people are driving through them.
Oh, dudes!
People are
these launch fireworks like
in the middle of the street, and it's everywhere.
Yeah,
this is not that. Yeah. This is not George Floyd. This is not the biggest protest we've seen in Los Angeles. This is a ridiculous response from our federal government, who is from our fascist federal government, that is inciting more trauma in our community than there is.
Yeah, this is about their optics, and I think we can leave it at that.
I want to touch on one other thing, just
please.
so that we do.
Yeah,
this is because of ICE.
People
who are out right now are out because they don't fuck with ICE, and because ICE wasn't. This is a sanctuary city.
Yeah,
and this is not the place for that.
If you really want, I think that's a really good point. I think it's worth emphasizing. If you are concerned about like the level of violence or the level of destruction or the looting, like don't pin this on protesters. Don't pin this on looters. Pin this on ICE.
Yes.
If you want this to stop, then stop showing up in vans, unmarked vans. And throwing people into vans and disappearing them.
Yeah.
That's not deportation. That's kidnapping.
That's kidnapping.
That's
people are getting kidnapped from their work, from their homes, from their places, from school.
Yeah.
Kids are getting kidnapped from school in Los Angeles, from their court cases, from, hey, I'm coming to my immigration documentation hearing. And guess who's there? It's ICE. I'm at your back door and I'm taking you away.
So ICE could stop. This could stop tomorrow if ICE decides to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. That was worth being really clear about.
Yeah.
I think if you're a musician, I hear this refrain from time to time, like, where's the protest music? Y'all, it's out there.
Well, I was actually just at a panel today and I was speaking about this, and someone in the audience said, what can musicians do to take action during like these times of unrest, these times when things are so socially charged? What can a musician do? And I just thought that'd be fun for us to just dive into. Like we spoke a little bit about like Sweet Relief Music Fund, all of these other, participating. We talked a little bit about unions last week, getting involved with the organizations that exist. Yeah. But also, what else can artists do during this time when things are fucking crazy?
Okay. Let's scrap this. Let's talk about that.
No, we just
let's do it. Honestly, let's do it on camera production meeting.
Yes.
I think it's important. I maybe at the most basic level, it's speak your mind.
Yeah.
Like write the song, say the thing. Don't censor yourself, and don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
What I think, and there is a lot of protest music out there. It's in the punk scene. It's in the riot girl scene. Like there's like everyone's like, oh, there's no protest music. First of all, what protest music looks like in the mainstream, I think, has a lot to do with joy as protest.
Yeah.
So like, like Kylie Minogue drops a song, it becomes like, like
the bop of the summer.
Yeah. Like, and then that is like, and that's like being danced at in like in queer clubs and gay clubs.
Yeah.
And queer joy is a form of resistance. So there's like, and that's easier to sell, because then like if you don't know, you can be like, this is a fun song. If you
this is just really fun. I liked it.
Yeah. And if you do know, you're like, hey, this my joy is a form of resistance. So like there is that, and I think that's probably worth saying. And if you want just to be like if you want angry music about the government, that's out there.
Well, I think of things like Childish Gambino, This Is America, or like I mean, maybe this is too generalized, but I think of things like Not Like Us. Those seem like maybe This Is America's like a better example of that. But like, you know, like songs that are really speaking directly to what's going on now and not sugarcoating it. I think it's important for artists to be direct, to say, you know, don't. So often in songwriting, we're beating around the bush. We're finding the most eloquent way to say something. But in this case, maybe you just need to be blunt and be direct. If you're trying to write a protest song, you're trying to write something that talks about what's going on now. Maybe the most direct way to do that is by saying it.
I think that's really important. And one of the things that I hear to expand on that is like, you're not going to write, you know, what's up. Right. Like, and that, you know, stop here. What's that sound? Like that's been written. And that comes from a time when like protest music could have, you know, like could have gotten on the radio in that way. And also like, I don't know that we need to be looking to like mainstream white rock to be the voice of protest anymore. So maybe I'm beating this over the head, but like there are a lot of like incredible like women and femme fronted groups. There's a lot of incredible like, you know, queer groups, brown, black, indigenous, people of color groups that are out there. If you're searching for that, there are ways to find it. And if you feel called to create something like that, like there's ways to do that. And I think there are artists out there that you can emulate, that you don't have to go back to like, you know, Crosby,
the
Stills, Nash and Young.
60s, the 70s. You don't need to do that. You can be inspired by what's coming out now and what's happening today, and use your authentic voice to say what it is that's wrong, because sometimes the most powerful thing, even in those songs, was those artists and the people delivering the song saying what's true to them.
I think this brings up another point. People talk about, there's a lot of talk right now, at least in LA, about optics. And
media training.
And we don't have media training. We're people on the street. So one thing I think is worth really reinforcing is like the media. We are in the midst of an incredibly powerful right-wing propaganda machine that really knows what it's doing really, really well. So I don't think that broadly going into protests that like that concerning ourselves with optics is really something. If everybody showed up, people talk a lot about like, oh, there should be more American flags at these protests.
No.
If everybody showed up, if there was one flag per person, that's not going to stop ICE from showing up and putting people in vans and sending them to.
And frankly, I don't feel like the American flag represents most Americans at this point.
So this gets me to the point is like, there are narratives that are being perpetuated. Our job, I think, as artists, are to speak to a community. So like I'll say this like as a white person, like speaking just specifically to white people right now for this purposes, like we have an opportunity to speak to communities that maybe aren't that don't get the message otherwise. Or you have a unique way. Like I know, like I'm a rural white person. So like I have a
Minnesota raised, born and bred.
There are some sensitivities that I have. There are some ways that I know that I can speak to an audience that like somebody who isn't from that culture can't. Right. And it's like obviously it's true of the opposite. Right? So if you're the kind of person who's like, I just wish there was more like to say, one thing you really can do is just like reshare a narrative and help to shape the narrative against the propaganda machine. And your music can be a part of that. Like, and it can be, you can retweet stuff, or you shouldn't be on Twitter. You can reshare stuff. You can, share stuff on Blue Sky. You can share stuff on your Instagram page. You probably shouldn't be on Meta, but
we're all there anyway.
You like put it, repost on TikTok. Like you can do your part to reach your audience. And that is actually meaningful. You're never going to change someone's mind in real time.
No.
But you can present ideas in a way that maybe nobody else can present.
I think that brings up something that's really valid in this conversation is like, how do we access people, even people in our communities? Right now is such a divided time. So like, if you're going and talking to your grandma who maybe is like a little bit racist, like how do you be most accessible to those people? How do you speak the language that they need to hear to help them grow as a person and see things differently? And is it possible? I think we talk about this a lot in the queer community, is like, how do you expose people or how do you educate people? I think this is a conversation we have around pronouns all the time. It's like, how do you be accessible enough to say to someone, hey, no, my pronouns are they and them. Yeah. And for the first time for them to have someone stop and be like, and the way you know, maybe you have to explain to them how they can use it in a sentence. Like, you know, and if you are accessible enough to them, maybe this is the dream or the hope is that then they will learn and be less shitty to the next person. Yeah, and all of that can possibly lead in an ideal world, can possibly lead to a little bit of a deprogramming from the, you know, OAN, Fox News, right wing Breitbart. I don't even know because I'm so disconnected from that scene, but I know it's out there. The best case scenario is that, and the worst case scenario, you spoke your piece. Yeah, you said what you could say, and you stood up for yourself, or you stood up for other people in your community. Yeah, and in LA right now, I don't know what to think about the looting, and I honestly don't care all that much. But I will say, with the respect to the protesters, yes, they're speaking for you right now. Yes, and so the least you can do is speak up for them. You know, I agree with that 1,000%. I think it's tough. It's tough to think about, like, we're talking about optics. We're talking about, like, how does it look? How does it look when we have people on the freeway? How does it look when, I think at a certain point, you gotta be out there. Yeah. You know, that this is not an encouragement. This is not like a call to violence, but I think you have to make some disruption if you want to make an impact. This is, like, they talk about, they'll say, this is a subtle thing, but they'll say, we want peaceful protests, so don't go close the freeway up. So we're conflating peaceful with what, non-disruptive? Yeah. Those are separate things. Those are totally different. You can make the argument that disrupting a freeway is peaceful. It is. And no one was violently hurt. Right. It's a non-violent form of protest. Yeah, it is. So I think... And it's a historic way of protest. Yeah. So, like, I would also encourage people to avoid the respectability politics side of things, and get out there and support and get your voice heard. Yeah, make an impact in your community. Do what you can. Feel safe. Take care of yourself. Yeah, and come to LA. It's fine. Yes. Yeah, it is. All right. Okay, let's talk about what makes a good session. Ooh. And let's also talk about what makes a good collaborator, a bandmate, like beyond just sessions. You're an engineer. Yes. You've been in a lot of sessions. I've done a lot of sessions in my life. So what makes a good session? Let's start, like, at the highest level, like irrespective of a role, whether you're the artist or a producer or engineer, like, what makes a good session? Being prepared, having everything you need, you know, like not having broken things. That's a great starting place. Okay, yeah. Having a comfortable environment. That's another place, you know, like, it sucks to work in, like, your 105-degree backyard garage. Harsh lighting. Yeah. Yeah. Those are all good starting places. Yeah. But, you know, from an interpersonal level, I think of, like, I will say one thing else is, have an idea of what you're doing. Yeah. Oh, please come prepared. Please come prepared. He's triggered. I am viscerally triggered all through my body. You don't know how many sessions. So, like, here's the thing, bro. I'm just gonna go. Yeah. And I got it off the top. I have to drink a little bit before I go. But then once you go, this is gonna be a banger, man. You should probably do this on spec because it's gonna be so good. Fast forward 3 hours. I don't know. I don't think I was feeling it tonight. Yeah. Like, okay. Because if you're prepared, one way to say it is you don't have to feel it because you're prepared. Yes. And another way to say it is if you're prepared, you're ready to feel it. Yes, you are. Like, you're ready to. You've made a way for you to. You've made it possible for yourself to have the best possible experience. Yeah. So now let's talk about, like, since you're an engineer. Yes. Like, from an engineering perspective, if you're out there
and you are thinking you want to be an engineer, or you're getting into sessions as an engineer, what makes a good engineer?
What makes a good engineer?
Specifically in the context of session work, like you gotta have ears, you gotta have gear, you gotta but forgetting the gear stuff and the technology side of it.
What makes a good engineer? Yeah. An engineer is a therapist.
Okay.
At the end of the day, your engineer is a therapist. Music is an art form. Yeah. So your engineer needs to be someone that you can be vulnerable with. So if you are looking at becoming an engineer, you're like, hey, I want to work in a studio. I have this big dream. Like, understand you're in the service industry. Yeah. What you're going to be doing is like listening to people, seeing where they're at and seeing how you can tailor your services, your experiences, how you can leverage whatever, whether it's equipment, whether it's your time, whether it's your resources, leverage yourself to help them get that song out of them, help them get their expression out of them.
So the soft skills.
Yeah. Yep. If the most valuable skill for an engineer is the skill you can't teach.
One thing I've said is people will largely, and I'm not original in saying this, but people will largely remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
You can get gigs.
Yeah.
You can get opportunities. Like people aren't going to remember like what compressor you used.
Oh man, he was so fast on the shortcuts. Damn.
Yeah. They like, for the most part, they're going to remember like, I vibed with this.
Yeah.
I'll say one of the other things that I've for me, working with engineers, what separates the good engineers from the great is their patience.
Yes.
The good engineer just knows how to like sit and just dial in.
Yes.
And do the work until it's done.
Yes.
And maybe it's a musician thing, or as an artist, like sometimes you want like you want to skip to maybe it's just me, you want to skip to the final thing.
Yes.
But like that takes engineering.
It does.
And a good engineer will sit and do it.
Let me flip the question on you.
Yeah.
As an artist, what does a good session look like to you?
So definitely, like we said, like being prepared.
Yeah.
You are spending some amount of money to be in a session. You should be.
Engineers got to be there on time.
So I would say, so the engineer needs to be there on time. The engineer needs to be prepared. As an artist, I think you need to be. This is me, but like you need to be well rehearsed.
Yeah.
If this is if your recording session is the first time you've ever heard what it is you want to do in recording form, you fucked up already.
Yeah.
Like spend your time. If you have a band, just put a phone down in the room. Like play your song a couple times. Like know your tempos. Like know
your BPMs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
every time.
If you're gonna go and you say you've got a session, you're gonna do 5 songs over the weekend kind of thing, like that kind of 3-day weekend session thing. Like you with your band, you should have all of your tempos ready to go.
I'm always pleasantly surprised when I go into a session with a new artist and they're like, oh yeah, this song's at 105. I'm like, oh my God, you're so incredible. If you want to step yourself up to one level above, because we can every good engineer, I can figure it out, whether I can tap to BPM, whether I'm going to send it through like Antari's BPM key finder, you send it to TuneBap, whatever you're doing. Like you can get it, but it's one step better if the artist is prepared and knows.
And you've already done the song a bunch of times in that tempo.
Yeah.
Not just like figuring it out. So that's something. Rest the night, like be rested. I've said this before and I'll say this a lot, but like this is, if engineers are therapists, then musicians are athletes.
Yes.
Like you have to have a relationship with your body. Yeah. If you were,
yes, you do.
If you were going to play if you're a professional, if you wanted to play at a pro level of, football or softball or something, like you're like, that rest is a part of, is rest and recovery is actually part of your game.
Yeah.
And it's the same as a musician. Like,
that's why you're getting paid so much, because you're not going to go party right after the game if you got to play, because you need to recover.
Yeah.
And then you need to rest.
Yeah. So like being rested, like fucking eating before your session.
Properly.
Eating before your session and eating properly.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe how many sessions have you been to where it's like, all right, we're gonna show up at 10, and then they show up and they're like, oh bro, I'm super hungry. And so like at 11:30 you're already off.
Hey bro, do you know any good like spots that I can eat? Your session is 3 hours. You're gonna spend an hour and a half going and getting food?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no, because you're paying me to be here. So I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, in the next hour and a half that we have, we could have done twice as much.
Yep. So having a plan for your body,
I want to interrupt here because there's another thing that I think every artist can learn here, and that is not showing up with an entourage.
Hey!
Oh my God!
Leave
your girlfriend, leave the homie, leave everybody at home. Yep. Come, it's your session. It isn't your friend's session. And the real reason that this is a problem is because people are going to influence you. The way you create when you're by yourself is not the way that you create when you're like, the homegirl's like, hey, why don't you do it like this?
Yeah.
Or the homeboy's like, I don't know, bro. It sounds kind of like Kendrick, bro. Change it.
Yeah, and you don't, and there's so many dynamics there.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even know, like, Taylor Swift is not going to Travis's practices. I don't even know if they're still together. I don't care.
Travis Kelce.
And Travis is not going to like her sessions, right?
No.
Like they're like professionals at a certain level, or so whether you're at that level or you aspire to be at that level, like you are showing up to go to work.
Yes, you are. And
that's a really good one.
Yeah, you wouldn't show up to your day job with your baby or with your girlfriend or with your friend, because you wouldn't be able to work the same. You'd be thinking, how are you doing? Where's this? What's that? What's going on?
Yeah.
And you want to be locked in. Like this is time you paid for. This is your work. This is what you chose that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So you need to get locked in.
Personally, I feel like to being an artist is such a privilege.
Yes.
And being in the recording studio, maybe I'm gonna get all teary about it, but like being in the recording studio is such a special experience.
It's vulnerability.
Yeah.
Captured.
So being able to so vulnerability is a really nice, like how vulnerable are you really able to be, like when like if your baby daddy's sitting right there,
you can't you can't be,
or like like the homies, like just like
I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah,
we were talking about this before the show about like about having like a collaborator who would be like, oh, I don't know if that's really good, like and how that would change the vibe.
Yeah. So that leads, I think, to another thing that makes a good session. Let's say you are at least like cooking in a session rather than like there to capture something, or like I did want to talk maybe more about being in a band, or maybe you're writing together.
I think those are both great spots for us to jump into.
The yes and mentality.
Yes.
Somebody told me that many years ago, and it's really changed my life.
Yeah, that's a theater take.
So what is that? Yes. What does yes and mean to you?
Yes and is the baseline of improvisation. So if you say something to me, say anything to me right now.
There is a tiny bowl of marshmallows in this table.
Yes. And there is also a pink table underneath that bowl of marshmallows.
And no, there's not.
There
isn't.
What happens when you do that, when you say, no, there isn't, it stops the scene.
Yeah.
Either you have to stop or go back to re-clarify, because now I would need to say, oh, my bad.
So it, like to bring this home to a creative context, in the context of songwriting, I'm a songwriter, is like you're trying to build off each other, and you're trying to create, like you're trying to let the best of yourselves come out, and you're also trying to cultivate a space in which people feel free to let their best stuff out. Like if you aren't free to fail in your session or in your jam, in your rehearsal, you'll never find the real stuff.
Yeah, you won't, because you'll be, and I think this happens to musicians at all levels, but especially skilled musicians. If you are particularly skilled at something, it's very easy to get heady about it, to be like, oh, I gotta do these things. And what we rehearse is what we know the best. So when you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling stressed, that's what you're going to fall back on. If you want to try new things, you need to be able to feel vulnerable. And you want people around you who are going to support you, be like, yeah, that's great, and try this. Versus, I don't know. No, I don't. No, that's not it.
I don't want you to listen to me how I do. Give me that guitar. Let me see how I've been doing my way. Like
I don't even want to play it anymore.
that attitude will kill a session, will kill a vibe, it'll kill a band.
Yes.
I know it's corny, but like it's the ego thing.
It is.
And like we were talking about, like the service industry thing. I think if you're trying to be in a band, you are there to serve. You're there to serve the song. You're there to serve the collective, serve the other members of the band, and then you're there to serve the audience when you're there to perform. Like the minute that somebody, to me, that's what a successful collective is. The minute that somebody comes in and says, I really just like, you had your idea last song, I just like need my fucking idea on this song.
Yeah.
Your thing is gonna fall the fuck apart.
The most valuable thing that I can say right now is to learn the skill of detachment. If you want to be an engineer, you want to be a music collaborator, whether that's in a band, whether it's an artist project, whatever it is, I would say learn the skill of detachment. This is a lesson that it took me a long time to learn, and I had a teacher who showed me that. But if you're collaborating with someone, you're writing with someone, you've got an idea, you're like, ooh, I had this great idea. Oh my God, this is it.
Shut up. I got it. Yeah.
That feeling of this is it is probably not it.
No.
And it's okay to write it down, record it in your phone, keep it for later.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be it. Like the first thing you come across is often not the best thing.
Dude, first thought, best thought, I think is like one of the worst things that's ever happened to me in a session when someone's like, first thought, like, no, like you're free to have a second thought, dude.
Yes.
And another way to rephrase the detachment, and I am a big fan of, if you've seen any of my content, I've talked about this a lot, is like, it's the process.
Yes.
Like if you're working the process, if you show up with your materials, you'll find something. And I think the other thing about that detachment is that you learn, instead of like striving to like this thing, which is great when you have a thing in mind and everybody's like locked in.
Yes, everyone's on the same page.
But if they're not on the same page, or you don't have a specific thing in mind, but you have a session, you still have a band practice, you still have a writing, like you're still like there to create, then you have a different approach. Yeah. And everybody can get in the room and reach for what it is they know how to do, or what they can do, which is just control the next step of the process. And you'd be so shocked if you just stick with the fucking process.
Stick with it. Yes.
You can have a song, you can have an EP, you can have a great set, you can have a killer band. But it comes like minute by minute, hour by hour.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a step-by-step building process, and you have to be able to like see what comes without being so attached to whatever it is that you're coming from.
Yeah. I'd say a little bit of patience is probably something that makes the difference between like a good session and a great session.
Yeah. A little bit of patience, a little bit of understanding, and a little bit of empathy.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of empathy, a little bit of self-control.
Yeah.
You know.
A little bit of discipline sprinkled on top, and you got a pie.
And then like a good be a good hang.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yes.
Like just being, which is like why you eat and why you shower and why you show prepared, because you're not pissing people off. Like show up and like be a good hang, and everybody around you can have a good time. That is also a recipe for having better sessions.
It is.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that's the truth.
All right. That's the truth, y'all.
That's the truth.
God, I hate this. This is the one. I hate it. No. So let's talk about friend of the pod.
Yeah?
Timbaland.
Timbaland's taking some heat.
Yeah.
Taking some heat to the legacy. I would not want to be a Timbaland myself right now.
Okay.
I was actually really surprised to see this story, and I thought it was interesting because I had been seeing it brewing. Timbaland is the representative for a company called Suno AI.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Suno?
Suno is one of the big leaders in generated music, right?
Yes, exactly. Suno is the platform that you can go you just type in like lo-fi or type in like Kendrick Lamar type beat. Yeah. And they're taking some heat for this as well, because they've recently made it so that you can't type in the artist's name. You have to type in the metadata associated with the artist, and then you get their song, or a song in the style of them back.
So you have to be like Compton artist who hates Canadians.
Yes, exactly. And then you get Kendrick.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
All right.
But you know, Timbaland had been kind of like jumped in and had been like very vocal about using the platform and liking the platform, and had been brought in officially as a representative,
like a spokesperson,
for the company. And I believe he's financially invested in the company as well.
Okay.
So it was just really interesting to see him. And this week it came out that he had done an interview previously where he had said, the only music right now, AI is the only music with soul. Which I just think is something for us to chomp on right away, because that's crazy.
AI is the only music with soul.
That's crazy to me. And I think one of the things that we can talk about here is why that's so problematic, why like what the devaluation of music looks like through AI. Like I know there was a much longer form conversation had on this, like a 2.5 hour conversation, where he expanded on his views and doubled down.
I just got to say, like straight off the bat, that makes me feel just dead inside.
Yeah. Me too.
I hate it.
Me too. And I'm all for supporting everybody.
Yeah.
I'll be the first person to be like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But that makes me feel really despondent.
Yeah.
And this is me reacting to a headline. So like, but fuck it. That hurts my feelings.
It does. It should hurt your feelings. You know, I think for the amount of time that musicians spend growing, like building their platforms, working as musicians, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane.
To reduce the creative process to prompt engineering, that I have a hard time swallowing that as an idea.
I do too. And I think it was really, it caught my eye specifically as I was researching and I was looking into it because Timbaland's a very influential artist who's had a long history. Like he's not like a first timer coming in.
It's not like some guy at a fucking tech conference, some pencil neck fucking nerd.
This isn't Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Or like just some guy making $80K like as a prompt engineer. Like this is fucking Timbaland. Like he's responsible for a huge part of a lot of like
the musical landscape.
Like pop culture.
And he was actually called out on that. They had said, well, wouldn't you feel bad if like AI started making music like you? And his response was, people have been making music like me for decades.
No, they haven't.
First of all, thank you so much. It's been a while. It's been a long time for you, buddy. Yeah. But I thought that was a really irrelevant response.
Yeah, that seems really like cynical. That's a really jaded response.
Yeah. And the people who did, even if someone did make a copycat version of your song or was inspired by your song directly, which people are inspired directly by everybody else. Yeah. And that's totally cool. But they had to spend so long to get to the point where they could do it or do it even close.
Yeah. I just don't think that like that's probably the curfew.
Yes.
That's like Are You That Somebody, the Aaliyah song, like Are You That Somebody? Like which is Timbaland produced, like there's so much heart and soul in that song. Yeah. And like just to be like, oh, I'm just gonna like AI prompt another song. Like this to me gets to my problem, and I even wrote it down, so I'm gonna take it from my own take.
Yes.
That the music industry is being, and so maybe I have to give Timbaland a little credit for this, because the music industry is being stripped away, like a lot of our creative industries, from the artists and the creators, and being put into the hands of the tech bros.
Yeah, the tech oligarchy.
And and the private equity people.
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
So these are like
no notes on that.
Yeah, right. so I think like on one hand it may be that Timbaland is sort of just like reading the wind and cashing out one last time, you know.
I get that. I understand, especially being a part of Suno AI, which is very well propositioned to be one of, or the leader in AI music generation. Yeah. So I get it. Like but
I just don't think that has any bearing on like the actual creative process.
I also think, what he said in so many ways, he just seemed so like computer illiterate when he was speaking. It seemed, really? Yeah. Okay. And like it felt out of touch. It felt like watching like a 58-year-old man be like, "No, the computers make good music." I'm like,
that's such a weird thing. So have you done much with AI music?
I've done where I find AI useful in my workflow is as a tool, as like AI has gotten really good at stem splitting. AI has gotten really good about noise removal. AI has gotten really good at captioning.
But what about generative AI?
I think the closest thing that I found to generative AI in music that feels useful to me is features like Drummer in Logic Pro, where they can populate like a drum take, or bassist in Logic Pro, where it can populate like a bass line. But I think you're still obviously getting MIDI notes out of that that you can then manipulate and work with.
And like that's more like, to me, that's more like I mean, algorithmic.
Yeah, like it's more machine learning than it is true like large language model. Yeah,
like, I don't know how an LLM is gonna like make a good bass line, but like
so far I haven't found a way.
So I don't really I get really despondent when I think about AI and music. we were both at a panel recently
Yeah.
where they were talking about AI music.
Yeah.
And I
Shout out Pop Out LA.
Yeah, shout out Pop Out LA. It was a really nice event. That particular panel, I remember just being like, this sucks. And like, it was like, because it was this whole thing about like music as content.
Yeah.
And as like a value prop.
Yeah.
And so I guess maybe I'm too pure for this new world, but like music is content, but it's not fucking content.
Yeah.
Music is a language that speaks to our souls, right? The music is a cultural expression. Music is a lot of fucking things long before it's an item on somebody's spreadsheet.
I have two thoughts on that. I personally do a lot of compartmentalization because I do a lot of music as content. I produce a ton of music that exclusively is going to go to Instagram and is going to get promoted there, or is exclusively going to go to this one place. And I segregate that and separate it from music that I create for me or music that I care about. And I think more and more as we go along, we're going to have those buckets of like, yeah, that's some AI bullshit music that's in a Spotify playlist versus that's something someone put their soul into and actually likes. Yeah,
I think I've said this before, and I actually thought about like just like signing off on this every episode.
Yeah.
Or something about is art is not content and content is not art.
Yes.
Because I do think it really gets to like
the root of the
crux of it.
Yes, it does.
You're saying, right? I like these playlists that help you sleep sometimes. I've got a touch of the insomnia.
Yeah.
And so you put these in your headphones, and they're all so samey. If they're not generated, they're certainly like there's no way these are like artists, right?
Yeah.
These are like people who are getting on like on the payroll of a streaming service to like make this content.
Absolutely.
So like,
a bunch of that has been generated recently.
So like that's like content music, and I don't know that. I have to think about this, but I don't know that it would like crush me too hard to like use AI if generated content to help me sleep. I don't know.
No,
I think that.
I mean,
I don't know.
We could dive deeper into like the pitfalls and social problems of AI and all of the energy usage, but like as for is it functional? It's super fucking functional.
Yeah.
AI can be very useful as a tool and it can provide you certain things that are valuable.
Yeah.
But I think it still needs to be separated and clarified that that's not the same as art.
So I think I'd love to hear from y'all in the comments what you think about like the AI music thing. What do you think about the Timbaland thing? Like that, do you think that the only music with soul?
Are you gonna stop listening? Made? Is it a blacklist? Is he off? Is he turned off? Is it over? Is he canceled?
Yeah.
Stamp.
Are we canceling Timbaland? I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts on that.
Yes.
And more like AI music is such a big topic. So like beyond that, I'd like to hear more about like specific, like wedges of AI in music that y'all would like to talk about.
We're deep into the music.
Yeah.
So if you disagree or you have other thoughts, throw them down in the comments and we'll check it out.
Let's talk about a little article that it was in Billboard by Elizabeth Diltz Marshall called "Artists Often Pay for Their Own Healthcare."
Ooh.
She mentioned the Chapel Rowan getting up and kind of calling out the music industry for not supporting the artist's mental health.
Yes.
Nearly 3/4 of some 1,500 independent musicians reported struggling with a mental illness, according to a 2019 survey. Among unionized musicians and performers, rates of mental health problems and substance use disorder are higher than among the general population.
Yes.
Y'all are fucked up, and I see you.
Entertainers in general experience mental health at 69 to 71% higher than standard gig workers or other employee groups.
Wow. So over the past several months, Billboard asked more than a dozen artists, managers, financial planners, music executives, and therapists about creative's single biggest out-of-pocket healthcare expense, and the answer was consistently the same: therapy.
Yes.
What's your take on this?
Oh, man. I think if there's any group of people who need therapy and are more afraid of it than anybody else, it's musicians.
Because you think there's a sense that my struggle is where my art comes from?
Yes, because there's a pride in being It's not a pride. There's a sense of obligation that, oh, I'm supposed to struggle. It's supposed to be hard. If I'm not feeling better, I won't write the same sad songs.
Yes, that's the one that I was kind of waiting to hear, is like this idea that like you need the struggle in order to write the songs. And to me, that's as fallacious as saying you need to get high to write.
Yeah, you will. I promise you, you will write better if you're not high.
Yes.
You will write better when you're not depressed.
Yes.
And you will write more.
Yes.
You will write more.
Yo, I am like diagnosedly like depressed right now. I'm not writing for shit. Like I am the person who is truly believes, I do not believe in the starving artist.
Yeah.
I truly believe that I write my best work when I'm well fed, well rested, and well fucked. Like
yes.
that is like that's when I'm doing my best work. So I would like to encourage artists, like there's broadly get your mental health, fix your mentals, like do all that.
Take care of your body.
Specifically, I will say, don't fear messing up your creative process.
Thought you were going to say the Reaper.
Don't fear that bitch. Don't fear messing up your creative process because of getting your mental health or getting your money right or eating right. Don't be afraid of that. In fact, you'll do better work.
Yes, you will. 100%.
Yeah. So one last thing I wanted to kind of get into was this big Goldman Sachs Music in the Air report. They do this every year. Do you follow this much?
I missed this one.
Okay, because I know you're kind of like you tend to follow the industry topics pretty well.
I'm really into it. I usually what is the one that I usually get? It's a big report every year. It's the I'm gonna space the name.
Okay. Like a music industry.
Yeah, and it's like the Peterson report or like the. But it's all TV. It's all TV entertainment. And I forget the name of it.
We'll leave it in the comments.
Yeah, we'll drop it in the comments. Doesn't matter.
So if you are actually, be kind of cool to know like what industry stuff y'all like to watch and pay attention to. So every year Goldman Sachs, and I don't put this out. I don't follow this too closely because I'm not that in the music industry in that way.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs lowers global music industry growth forecast, wiping out $2.5 billion on Billboard once again by our homie Elizabeth Diltz Marshall. She's really propping us up. She's a true friend of the pod.
True friend.
Elizabeth Marshall, you are welcome anytime. So Goldman Sachs lowered its global growth expectations for the music industry for the next 5 years, as well as its forecast for global recorded music revenues this year in a report published Tuesday, June 3rd. The Music in the Air report said it expects the global music industry to generate $31.4 billion in net revenues in 2025, a $2.5 billion decline from its 2024 projection of $33.9 billion. Researchers said these meaningful changes to our streaming assumptions stem, this is moving ahead, I should back up. They said largely they kind of bet wrong on where and how the money was going to come from streaming.
Yeah.
Researchers said these meaningful changes to our streaming assumptions stem from a structural shift of more consumers preferring short form as opposed to long form videos, less upside gain from emerging platforms, and the impact of near-term uncertainty, which I do think they sort of just mean the current administration and the tariffs, I imagine. So the global music industry is been the economic forecast for the global music industry has been downgraded.
Yeah,
by billions.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this?
Well, can you go back and tell me the number of the projected how much it's projected at right now?
It expects the global music industry to generate $31.4 billion in net revenue in 2025.
So when I look at this at this stat in particular, I think back to like 2016, 2017, projecting the cannabis industry.
Okay.
That was projected at 21 billion and it failed to hit that.
Go off, Queen.
Yes. And so I think this is another one of those times when we're looking at this, how much are some people making? Let's take these biggest numbers. And I think like we talked about last week or the week before, I would love to see these projections take out Taylor Swift, take out Beyonce, take out Drake.
Yeah.
I want to
correcting honestly just for fucking Taylor alone.
Yeah.
She's just a juggernaut right now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I think when I look at this number, I'm still pessimistic to say, maybe if we're talking about how much is Guitar Center going to sell, or maybe if we're talking about how much is like any one of the music services, how much our music service is going to sell. But even then, I would expect some decline as, yet again, we talk about AI.
Yeah. And what was the impact of near-term uncertainty? Like, y'all, like, everybody, like, you don't need
Look, I love to make music, but I need to go work because I have no money, and groceries just went up by another 30%. So I'd love to come to band practice, but I can't.
I just cashed out a small 401k.
Oh my God.
And I know I'm pretty old, but I'm not that old, y'all. So
you're not retirement age yet.
So
you're not getting those, what are they, the AAPA?
AARP.
AARP, you're not getting those yet.
Yeah, I unfortunately
we don't have those. They don't come to us.
No, I'm not. I'm still eating dinner after later than 5:30 p.m.
Oh wow, you're doing so good.
So like things are tough right now. Like so I'm not surprised to hear that the music industry is tough. For the record label that I run, one of our best years was 2020.
Yeah.
So one thing
that makes so much sense
I've
though.
learned is that like for the majors will do one thing, and sometimes as an indie or a DIY, like your prospects are actually like sometimes the better they do the worse. Yeah, inverse. Sometimes the better they do, the worse you do, and sometimes the worse they do, the better you do. It creates opportunities. It pushes a groundswell of activity and energy down towards the indies and the DIYs.
Well, if we're thinking of music as a service, or music, what did we say earlier? We said music as a consumption, like music for consumption, or music as content.
Yeah.
People are going to keep consuming. So if the large major labels are not producing the amount of content that needs to be consumed, you're going to start consuming content from smaller, more independent artists.
Or if the money isn't there for them to do it, to focus their strategies on that, like it used to be, that creates an opportunity for you.
If there isn't marketing behind the new Taylor Swift record, you're not going to listen.
Right.
Because, or maybe she's not the greatest example,
but these songs, like this is a old, so the numbers are probably low at this point, but I heard that like if you want to get a hit song, if Taylor or a Beyonce wants to make a song a hit, that costs them $1 million.
Yeah, absolutely. You could spend as low as $250,000 to try to get your song onto the Billboard charts. And this is including things like press. This is including things like radio. This is including just getting your song.
Traditional PR.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're talking about, is putting together a traditional PR package. It's going to get your song at least to the baseline.
Yeah.
At least to, hey, and I'm not talking about bot listeners. I'm talking about real, actual listeners.
And also not bot press, but real actual, and BOT press, like, because there are a lot of, like, you can, I also do PR, right?
Yes.
So, like, you can, getting into that, like, you can pay a lot of money and then get published everywhere. And, like, all it is just bots reposting, resharing bots.
That's...
So, yeah, so... The music industry is expected to take, but we're still talking about billions of dollars.
Yeah, we are.
The music industry has always been hard.
Yes, it has.
It's not getting any easier. Like ultimately, it's like, if you are the kind of person, I would say this: if you think that you're the kind of person who wants to be in the major label world,
you want to make music for as many people as possible,
and even if you like. And you want, like, specifically, like, you want to be part of, like, I want to Universal, Sony, like,
you want to be a major.
So, get here to LA, get to New York, get to Nashville, and get there as soon as possible, and go to work.
Yeah.
And find these jobs, find these shitty jobs that you can get to get into the music industry. Find an internship when you're young enough for an internship.
Yeah.
And get in, because the industry is going to do what the industry is going to do. It's always competitive for these jobs, but there are always jobs.
I had someone ask, I want to piggyback on that and say, I had someone ask me today a really interesting question, which is, how much of the music industry do you think is luck?
Oh. It plays a significant factor in anyone's career.
Yeah. Do you have a percentage? I struggled with this.
No, I don't think because I think part of it is like, you can be a little bit lucky and get a little bit of thing going on. You can get really lucky and get a big thing going on.
Yes.
So like, luck is everything.
I said,
look, it's just like a fucking 100% in some ways.
In some ways, it's 100%. The answer I gave was 30%.
Okay.
I said it's definitely more than a quarter. Like you aren't like it, and I think about this like down to who you're born to.
Oh,
are you born to like Billy Ray Cyrus?
That's exactly, or like, were you lucky enough to be like in the grunge scene in Seattle in 1989 and like come up when the money came up, right?
Yes.
We're from like, I came up in Minneapolis that was like post Prince, post Husker Du, post like
Rhyme Sayers, post Doomtree.
Yeah, so like the money and like the Rhyme Sayers and the Doomtrees like they came up on the backs of like the Husker Du money and the Prince money and the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis money.
Exactly.
So if you were lucky enough to be like to be like in Minneapolis like in like 1987 as like a 21-year-old guitar player, like you probably saw some cool shit.
That was a moment.
But in like, so like me in the 2000s, you and me in the 2000s, 2010s, like there was still a bunch of like money there, but it wasn't the same thing.
It was not the same as it was during its peak.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a really interesting thing that kind of follows up with this conversation is like, sure, there's probably a ton of money floating around the music industry.
Yeah.
But as to like whether you can capitalize on that, it kind of has to do with how much you're willing to put in. Are you willing to like change your location? Are you willing to work for free? Are you it's not willing, it's
willing,
are you able? Yeah.
Like how much shit are you willing and able to eat?
Yeah, exactly.
But and that gets back to my point, which is that like if you feel like you want a major label job, and I wish I would have understood this a little younger, so this is why I like to repeat it, is like go out there and get one. Yeah. They're out there. And if you want to have a major label, like if you were an artist and you want that, go and get a major label job. Like go work in A&R, work in as a coordinator it
isn't as impossible as it sounds.
No.
You know, like for me, I have never had a major label job, but I have had the luck and the good graces from the universe to let me work with major labels, to let me interface with them. We just had our event at Warner Music, and we're going to continue to work with those, like that group, and with shout out Gabby
for real this time.
Yes, Gabby Coach.
Shout out a lot of people, but shout out Gabby.
Real friend of the podcast. Real friend of the podcast.
We should call real friends enemies of the pod.
Enemies of the pod. Yes. Interview with enemies. Enemies interview.
Enemies of the pod, including the wonderful Gabby Koklani.
Yes.
So, and I wonder if this economic does that include? And I don't think it does. Like what you're doing, the economic output of Secret Spot DTLA.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like including like independent venues, independent studios, independent.
And I don't think we would change that billion number that much.
The one thing I'll say about this is streaming, y'all, is extremely uncertain.
Yes.
We put the music industry in the hands of the tech billionaires and the investors.
And we tried with the Music Modernization Act.
Yeah.
We've tried with all of these different, we have organizations that we didn't have before, like the MLC.
Yep.
And we have resources to kind of get us there, but with our current administration, like with the uncertainty, the current uncertainty,
present uncertainties, and the shape of the music industry in general.
Yeah.
So I think if you're called to be, the majors, like go find work in the majors and figure it out. If you are maybe not called to do that, you just like music is a passion of yours, but you don't want to sell out or whatever the fuck. Like, I encourage us all to be thinking about the kind of communities we want to be creating and the kind of networks we want to be creating, the kind of world that we want to inhabit as artists, as musicians, and as consumers, and orient ourselves as artists, as musicians, and consumers towards those modalities.
Yeah.
So that's because streaming is not going to be forever. No. CDs were not forever. Cassettes went away. Like the music industry is more volatile than than fucking anything.
Yeah.
Than any other creative industry. So like. The other thing is we're just like don't lose your creative center, don't lose your soul. That's kind of corny, but
that's true though.
Yeah.
I think it's tough with the music industry because there is this sense of like, oh, I want to make the music. I think a really clear way of saying this is to say something that was told to me a long time ago, which is get clear about why you're making music. Get clear about what you want from music. If you just want to make music because you love music, 2 thumbs up to you. Dude. 2 thumbs up to you. But if you have decided that you want to make music for as many people as you possibly can,
or it has to be your career.
Yes, and that's what I mean by this. Like, if you're identifying that you want to make this your career and you want to be the biggest you can be, what you need to understand is that you've signed up to make the most general music that applies to the most number of people. And that's a different journey. That's going to include different writing. It's going to include different marketing. It's going to include different requirements from you than if you say, hey, I love music and I want to keep making it. Those are 2 different roads.
And to your point, a different kind of day job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. A very different day job. Hopefully one that pays you a lot more money.
I think that's all.
I keep getting these vibrations saying that there's a curfew coming out. So I wish we could continue this conversation right now, and I want to, but
they're gonna shoot us.
I think we gotta go.
All right, we're gonna.